People are not going to sit at a car boot sale with stolen goods, with their face attached, with their vehicle, where they can all be seized, right, when it's so much easier to put them on Gumtree, Facebook, Marketplace, wherever. £1 million worth of tools in shipping containers to go overseas.
Yep, of course. And did you see what happened with that? The post the police put up? So you haven't really done any research.
Well, I have.
Well, not enough.
Have you ever sold at a car boot shop?
I have.
Do you know how hard it is to sell anything for more than a couple of quid?
It depends what you're selling.
So basically, if you got a ban on power tools in the UK, right, the sale of power tools in the UK, what's the actual figures you expect the crime to drop? None, in my opinion. The problem you got is the reason there's an undersupply is because there's an auction 7 days a week selling them.
Where are they getting it from?
Well, that's something you need to take up with the auctioneer. If you kill the source, then you solve the problem. If you actually had cages inside, right, and lock boxes inside, and a big, massive sticker on the outside, right, at the very least, they would go, oh, right, that one's going to take me longer. I'm going to go to a different as a deterrent, just as a deterrent.
But they've done the damage to the van and they'd get in there
But
first.
if there's a big label outside saying what security you got inside the van, right, surely they'd go, well, that one got that. I'm going to go to the next one.
They don't care what's on there. They'll get through your roof.
Right then, different little episode of Trade Legends this time. It's a little bit of a debate. If you've been on social media since the whole Trade United tool theft protest went live and was on ITV, BBC, all that sort of stuff, it got massive coverage. Now, some positive, some negative, just generally. But off the back of that, we had word come through to us that there was someone online who'd done a YouTube video within the car boot sale arena. I don't really know too much about it because I haven't dug in too much because I want to stay pretty impartial as much as I can be. A guy called Walter O'Neill did a video on YouTube and it was, I'm sure it'd be links in the description below. It was his view of what his sort of take on it was. Now, we spoke with Shoaib, I spoke with Walter online. I was the one that actually dropped you a message to see if you're willing to come on the podcast. So what we've done, we've got Shoaib, who is obviously very active in the tool theft, Trades United sort of thing. And we've got Walter on there, just stood off camera here. So I obviously can't host this one because I was part of the Trades United movement and the tool theft thing. So what we've got in is the researcher, stroke producer, stroke, what do you want to be classed as, Nate?
Oh, producer, definitely.
Producer, yeah. Researcher with you is very, very broad term. So I'm going to hand it over to Nate to host this one, completely impartial, and I think it's just going to be really good. It's quite an ad hoc podcast, but I think it's going to be a great debate, and it's going to throw up a lot of points for, against both sides. So I'll hand it over to Nath and I'll go and sit over there and let it carry on.
So thank you, Mark. Yeah, just to clarify, so the reason I'm hosting, I'm completely impartial. I work behind the scenes at Trade Legends. I'm not in the trades myself, and I don't sell at car boot sales, so I'm completely impartial. The reason we're here, obviously, is with the tool theft protests and the petition to Parliament that Shoaib organised through Trades United. A video popped up a couple of weeks ago from yourself, and you had obviously different opinions on whether it should or shouldn't be banned.
Totally.
So what we're going to do is we're going to give you both sort of an intro piece to make your sort of statements,
Yep.
and I'm going to take some notes, and then we'll go through each of the points together, if that's okay. Just one main rule while people are doing their intros, if you can not interrupt the other person, just to get their point across, and then we can open it up for debate afterwards. What I'm going to do, if you're happy with this, Walter, because it was obviously Shoaib that originally started the petition and then you responded to that, I'm going to let Shoaib start to give an overview
Yeah, it's fine.
of Trades United and the petition.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So, yeah, over to you, Shoaib.
Okay, so basically we started the petition about stolen tools because it's been going on for too long. So 12 years, approximately, the vans are getting broken into, tools are getting stolen, and there's nothing that's getting done about this. So all the tradespeople, I mean, with the amount of pictures and videos that we've seen online about, you've seen it yourself as well, Walter, the van's getting ripped, the doors are getting peeled off. Everyone says get security done on your van, get this done, take your tools out, all these options that people are coming up with. That's really not a solution to it. So we've been to boot sales in the past so many times, and we see tools scattered all over the floor, thousands of them, an endless supply. And that's not just one boot sale. That's most of the boot sales around London area. Now, I don't know what area you're from exactly or what boot sale you operate in yourself. I know you don't sell stolen tools. You're in a completely different market. So as a tradesperson, this is more relative to us, to what we see on the floor. So it's a big concern where all these tools come from. Because when you look at the tools, most of them got markings on them. They've got names written on them, names scratched on them. There's serial number scratched out. And that's why we started this whole thing. And Trades United is just basically trades from across the country. It doesn't matter whether you're electrician, plumber, plasterer, screeder, doesn't matter what you are, because tool theft affects everyone. And we all got together to do a petition in Parliament to ban the sale of power tools. And that was in boot sales alone, because boot sales, in our eyes, obviously they're not regulated. Do you understand? So there's a difference between a boot sale and a marketplace. Market people usually have licenses. I've been to markets as well. Most of them, I've not seen power tools being sold there, not used ones. It's mainly the car boot sales that we find them in. So this is it's a concern for everyone. We've spoken to the police about this as well, and they said we've caught quite a few at the boot sale. Stolen tools have been found there. And the thing with the police is they can't do anything about it. I mean, overall, I saw your video online as well, where you're complaining about the police too. We're doing the same. So we do agree on something's got to be done from the police side. Not enough is being done. 44,500 people reported this incident last year. That's just the reported ones. Can you imagine the people that don't report it because they've been done multiple times and they know nothing's going to happen? So myself, I got broken into. I lost £8,500 worth of tools. Now the tools that we use as gas engineers, it's not just a screwdriver or a hand tool bag. They're specialised tools. So on average, like a gas analyzer is in excess of £2,000. Power flush machine, over £2,000. Then we've got thermal imaging cameras. We carry a lot of gear, and that's not just the power tools, that's specialist equipment. When we lose that, it's very hard for us to replace it. So in terms of getting tool theft, tool insurance, it doesn't cover. It only covers a fraction of that. Again, we're out of pocket. The damage that's caused to the vans is totally unacceptable. Thousands of pounds worth of damage. And then it's the anxiety, the stress while you're at work. That, what's going to happen next? I'm working customers' houses and I'm getting tickets on a double yellow line because I've got to see my van. And you can imagine the anxiety. We work in the gas industry. A little mistake can be deadly towards someone, do you understand? So, but we need to focus on our work, and that's one thing we can't do because most of the time our mind is on what's going on with the van outside. And in terms of security, I've got everything on my van that you could think of. Deadlocks, hook locks, plates, alarms, most expensive sort of things that you can do. And they still put screwdrivers through my door and bend the door. So where do we stand with that? We've got to really get to the source of this and find out where all these stolen tools are ending up. And I know it's probably not just the boot sale, it's online as well. I've seen it all over the years. And I just obviously, we all want this to stop. And we're not attacking the boot sales themselves directly. I've got nothing against the boot sale, apart from the people that are selling stolen tools over there. So, you'll take the intro.
Thank you. Would you like to do your intro now? Thank you for that, Shoaib.
I have actually prepared an introduction. If you don't mind, I'll read that.
Of course.
But before I do, right, I do 100% sympathise, and I accept tool theft is a major problem, right? And I'm not disputing that one bit.
Yeah.
I'll read this and then we can get into a chat. Okay, so hello, thank you for having me. My name is Walter O'Neill. I have a small YouTube channel called Antiques Arena, and I've been invited here today because of the film I put out on my channel last week, where I discussed how I'm opposed to the blanket ban on car boot sales, or the sale of power tools at car boot sales. Now, here to make enemies, I agree tool theft is a major problem that destroys lives. However, I feel this is a policing failure. Rightly so, you're all very angry at the level of theft going on, but you're looking for an easy blame with car boot sales, in my opinion. I reviewed all your posts. I've been on your websites, everything. All your Facebook posts and your articles. You've shared a lot of accusations, but no actual evidence. All right? In my opinion, anyway. The most common thing you share is they have many tools. So where are they coming from? They must be stolen. If you have evidence, then please produce it, and I'll be the first to bow down and say I'm wrong. So far, it's been mob mentality. You've lost your tools, you're angry, and you're looking for someone to blame, and the car boot sales must be crooked. People are supposed to be considered innocent until proven guilty. I actually work the car boot sales, have done for some way for almost 30 years. I don't sell power tools at all, so why do I care? The boot sales are extremely fragile, and we're losing them each week. Since COVID-19, we've lost 7 of our 10, just in my local area alone, where the government have shut them down, where the government don't want us trading on car boot sales at all. I've already noticed a knock-on effect on the sales. Your protests and posts are having a negative impact. And I'm going to share 2 comments, only 2 comments, off of one of your posts you put on Car Boot Sales UK Finders. And Lindsay Fowler, one of your people, put a post up. And somebody commented about wanting to sell their, I'm not sure if it was their deceased husband's tools or something. And Lindsay's answer was, sometimes you just have to make a sacrifice for the hard-working people of this country. Basically implying that, people at car boot sales are not hard-working. A second one was on the same post by, I can't pronounce his name, Wayne O'Riordan. And basically, Skylark Car Boots will encourage it, as in the sale of power tools, dirty, Fuckers. Lindsay's answer was to congratulate him and thank him. Right. You're messing with my livelihood, attacking the car boot sales as far as I'm concerned. Anyway. And already innocent people who can't make a living trading second-hand tools are actually being the sacrifice. And some of them, you don't know if they're legit or not. I feel the blanket ban on power tools at car boot sales puts a future risk of closure at the car boot sales and will have little to zero impact on tool theft figures at the end of the day. I was hoping the police would be here today because I was hoping the police could make it clear what they're actually doing to target the criminals. Because I was going to focus on the police and the government. Because we're one of the most taxed countries in the world, and the police budget last year was 17.2 billion. That was in 2023. I wanted to know, but they're not here. I wanted to know how much of that was actually spent on cameras such as AI cameras for fines that would bring revenue back into the police, and how much was actually spent on tackling crime. And one of my questions was going to be basically, what was the budget in 22? What were the increases? I want to know how much the increase was for catching people like motorists versus the increase for catching crime. I wanted to outline, were the government interested in catching the criminals or not? Because personally, I don't trust the government or the police as far as I can throw them. Firstly, you only got to look at the government, the way they handled COVID-19 and the Partygate scandal for the government. And as for the police, I don't know if you've watched my channel. I've already mentioned everything I went through on my channel, and where I had my vehicle fully loaded, everything I owned was stolen, and the police treated me as a criminal. Then I was hit by a hit-and-run drunk driver. The police did absolutely nothing at all. And when I outlined all that on my YouTube channel, one of your people, followers, their answer was to call me, state that the film was nothing but a comedy sketch, that there's no way the police would be that incompetent. So I brought a formal complaint I made to the Chief Constable South Wales, outlining everything I said in my film that was true. That was in there. Because in Wales, I know the police are more interested in enforcing crap like 20 mile an hour speed limit blanket bans than fighting crime. £33 million was spent on turning speed limits into 20 mile an hour. How much of that could have been spent on enforcing crime? How many more officers could £33 million have put on the streets? Right. So my opinion is, it is the police and the government don't particularly care. And that's why I wanted to address them. And if you work on the tool ban on car boot sales will be unrealistic. The record amount of stolen cars and things, my opinion is, there's almost 80% of stolen cars and things are shipped in containers overseas. There are no documents whatsoever stating figures of tools that are shipped overseas at all. But it is estimated to be similar to the cars. So that being 80% of everything that's stolen is going to end up in a shipping container and in Africa, where there are no legislations to cover the theft. Nobody, being realistic, nobody is going to risk having a hammering, stealing from vans in the middle of the night to take it to a car boot sale to sell it for 10, 20, 30 pounds. The tools that they sell in at car boot sales are old, they're worn out, they're used, and they're for next to nothing. And you're not going to risk your life for 20 quid at a car boot sale. You're really not. It's not realistic. And let's be totally honest with you, one of my biggest things is if criminals were stupid enough to bring 100 to 200 tools to a car boot sale that were stolen, surely the police would say, thank you very much for bringing them all into one spot for me. The seller, the van, the transported them, and the tools all in one go. But the police are part of the problem. The police, when they recover tools, if they can't return them to the seller, actually sell them on in public auction themselves to people like you were seeing at Denham car boot sale with hundreds of tools on the floor. That doesn't mean they haven't bought them legitimately from auction. And I've got pages and pages here of legitimate auctions that sell ex-hire tools and police auction tools. Now, one of the simple solutions would be if the police stop making money on stolen tools themselves, destroy the tools with no serial numbers. Then anytime they go to a car boot sale, if it haven't got a serial number, they find the person selling the tool and confiscate and destroy the tool. And my last one isn't going to be very popular, especially where I am. But if you want to talk about minority blanket bans because of a minority, a few years ago, there was a program called Rip Off Britain, all right, that outlined how tradespeople and builders ripped off homeowners in the UK. In fact, it's £3.5 billion a year is average cost to the homeowner because of fraud, poor workmanship, or incomplete projects, according to Peter and Peters and PHPI Online. How would you like it if we, as a general public, tried to petition for things such as legislations on you where you don't get paid until the job's completed and inspected by a government inspector and the money went into escrow and things like that and affected your livelihood because of a minority? It's exactly how I feel. The car boot sales are falling apart as it is. The government are doing their best to get rid of the car boot sales. They're doing their best to get rid of any online or cash sales you can possibly have. And the blanket ban, in my opinion, is just put in another reason, another excuse for the government to say, do you know what, everybody at the car boot sales is dodgy, let's just get rid of them. And that's going to affect my livelihood. I'm not going to go into all the details, I think. We'll keep that for the chat. But hopefully I've got my opinion across.
I can answer all of those questions, not a problem. But
right.
Yeah, we could go ahead. Let's go one by one from all your bits that you want to start from.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm going to start with Lindsay Fowler.
Yes.
Have you spoken to her?
I've tried multiple times on the posts.
Right. Do you know how many times her husband's van been broken into?
No.
8.
Right.
So that's the start of it.
Okay, yeah.
So that's why she's so passionate about this whole thing, about stopping tool theft.
Right, but have you seen some of the comments on there? There are 300 and something comments on that post she put on the Car Boot Sale UK. Yeah. At least 60 to 70% of them are people saying, I'm an old age pensioner, I just buy them to sell on and make a hobby. Yeah. Or people saying, my late husband's tools, I want to sell them. Or other people saying, well, why can't I make a business? Yeah. At the end of the day, right, I understand how bad this tool theft is. But this is a crime problem, not a car boot sale issue. People are good. It's not going to change the amount of theft. The only thing that's going to change is the police. The amount of cameras they got, right?
I've got you all right. But theft in general is a big problem in this country.
Well,
right?
yeah,
it's not just tools.
Said.
You've suffered it from it.
Yeah.
It's not just tools. Bikes are getting stolen. Watches are getting stolen. Cars are getting stolen. Tools are getting stolen. Yep. Everything you can think of is getting stolen.
Yeah.
So theft in general is a massive issue because there's no penalties for it. And I agree with you. It is the government's fault.
Yeah.
The police, again, are not to be blamed for it for one reason, and that is because they haven't got the numbers. They haven't got the budget. They can't deal with it.
But
when
that's
they go
a priority situation then.
Well, if you think theft is a priority, what about stabbing, knife crime? These things come first for them. We're way down the bottom of the list. They're not interested in tool theft, and that's for one reason. I was speaking to multiple police officers, and I'll tell you what the issue is. They go out to one call. Now they don't even come out to when a van gets broken into or your door's been peeled over. They don't even come to the site. They give you a crime reference number over the phone.
Yeah, they didn't come out when our sheds were broken into at all.
Yeah.
None of them.
So they haven't got the numbers to deal with it. Again, it's the government's problem. Now, with the police, they say we go to one call. By the time we even get to that, there's another 5 calls waiting for us. How are we meant to spend time on this? Right? That is their argument. And, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Right? We'd never had tool theft as a big issue 12 years ago. It wasn't that bad. You do hear about it here and there. But you're saying your boot sales, you don't sell power tools or they're selling old rusty tools or whatever. come down to London. We'll go together.
I
I'll take you
watched
to the
the
boot
video.
sale.
I actually watched the
You
video
watched
you put
I
out.
want you to see it. I want to see what's going on in the car boot sales around our area. We used to have one boot sale in my area. We've got 6 now. They're opening up. I don't know, they're closing down your end. They're opening our end. I will take you to the boot sale. You will see how they cover the number plates with cars, with tables and chairs. They literally cover the number plates, so no one can take the number plates. We've got 6 or 7 number plates. They don't even have paid road tax. They're declared stolen. The vans, I've got another company, something selling carpets. Inside, it's all tools. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Like, obviously, it's the police's duty to go down there. We've reported it before because we know the tools that are there. They've got markings on them, right? All the serial numbers have been scratched off. A tool that's £300 in the shop is £30 in the boot sale. How does that even add up? The battery costs more than the tool.
No, I agree with you 100%. But if the police weren't selling these tools back on in their auctions, right,
Okay.
then you'd be able to identify which is stolen, which ain't.
Right.
I do have evidence on the screen there as well of tool. That vehicle was off the road as well, wasn't it? When
Yeah.
you got to the number plate, so that was covered up.
Right.
I think
that's
the
one
one
of
I've
them.
got seven
Most of them are like that.
pictures like that, but I don't have them on me. That's just an example of it being covered up.
But surely, right, it's not rocket science to think if they had taken all the stolen tools to a car boot sale, it would benefit the police to send one officer across to confiscate the lot, take the van, take the driver, take the tools in one swoop.
Okay, so 2 weeks ago, Uxbridge boot sale, people reported stolen tools there. Police did turn up there.
Right.
And they went through the tools, and they did find stolen tools.
Right.
Okay, and when they contacted the person whose name was on the tool, the telephone number was on the tool, and he said, yes, it was stolen. It was stolen 3 years ago from my van.
Right.
The amount of theft, every 12 minutes someone gets broken into. So the people that are even buying from the boot sales, obviously they're some sort of tradespeople that are buying from them. They're not good tradespeople, I wouldn't say, but whatever kind of tradespeople they are, they're buying bargain or whatever. Even when they buy from it, they still get broken into, and it ends up back there
Yeah,
again.
but go
So
back
it's
to
a-
the
it's a
gentleman you were just
circulation.
talking about, right? You said
Yeah.
they went to the police went there and they found the tools. What happened to that? What was the outcome?
They couldn't do nothing.
Why couldn't they do nothing?
It was 3 years ago. They tried.
What's the timeline then
They've
on
taken
theft?
the details of the van. They've taken the address of the guy. They've done everything they can. So
I'm
they
not
said,
sure what the statute of limitation is for theft, but yeah.
And
I'm
his
not sure. I
excuse,
can-
the person who got caught, he said, "I found it in a skip." And what did the police do with that? He said, "We found it in a skip."
At the very least, if the police weren't selling them on,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and they were destroying anything, and a simple law that says if it hasn't got a serial number, it got to
Yeah.
be destroyed.
Yeah, we hope they do that. That's what we've said to them. Don't put it back in the market. Don't put
But
it back
that
in
would
the
be a
auction.
better fight than
Yeah.
a blanket ban of power tools at car boot sales.
Yeah.
I actually know people, honest people, right, who make a living going around car boot sales, buying used tools, fixing them, and selling them on. I actually know people personally who do that.
Yeah,
Right.
There must be some out there, but I'm not saying everyone. Look, we're not saying everyone is a thief that's selling power tools. That is not. You're getting that part wrong.
Well,
I'm telling you
I'm
to-
taking
to-
it from the comments and
Right.
things that are going on
Yeah.
Facebook and things,
Look,
right?
everyone's got an opinion. You've got an opinion. I've got an opinion. You'll have 1,000 people commenting on your post. God no, they don't even trade people, but they like making a comment. You can't take that as a. All right, we're looking at facts, hard facts here. I'm offering you to come to a boot sale, and I'll take you to 5 of them, and you yourself will say that doesn't look right. The tools that they're selling, they're not corded tools that old, or you could say, they got rid of them or some granddad tool in there. These are current tools that we're using at the moment, and no tradesperson out there would sell their tools. I'll tell you that now. I've been in it 6 years. I've only replaced a drill once because it burnt out. So there's no tradespeople that'll say, yeah, we sell it. So we usually pass them on to people or another tradesperson. That's all we'll do.
I agree. Right. Last month in Kent or the month before,
Yeah, that £1 million.
£1 million
Yeah.
worth of tools in shipping containers to go overseas.
Yeah, of course. And did you see what happened with that? The post the police put up? No. So you haven't really done any research.
Well, I have.
Well, not enough. The police have put out a post on their own site saying, can people come forward to come and claim their tools, right? Because look, they're trying their best here. It's not they don't put them back in auction at the amount you see, because down in your Wales area, you're not going to see that many tools. It all comes down towards London. Everything gets stolen. If you look at the petition, look at the stats on the petition, click show on map, you'll see London in red is a hot spot. But the petition signatures came from across the country because it can't move down. You don't have the number of boot sales there for it to affect you, to understand how big this issue is. You have to come to London, go to Vauxhall Market, go to Willow Farm, go to Tottenham, the one that just shut down recently. Go and have a look. 60-70% of it is just power tools. Where are they all coming from?
But that doesn't mean they're stolen.
Ladies and gents, just a quick one to say a huge thank you to our new headline sponsor, CT1, the best sealants on the market, voted for by the British public. Not only that, it's made in Britain as well. So go and support a product and a brand that is made in the UK. But I just want to say to you, they've got a brand new product out, which is the BT1. It's a combination sealant and adhesive like the popular CT1, but it's perfect for keeping a hygienic environment. And it's designed to completely stop the growth of bacteria, microbes, and fungus. And not only that, this stuff is strong. Now, it's going to be available at Travis Perkins, Wickes, Jewson's, and pretty much everywhere else, so there's no excuse not to go and give it a go. So we're really happy to be partnering with CT1.
Where are they all coming from? The tradespeople do not sell
Could I just interject? Sorry. So I've actually got the figures of the values that was from a Freedom of Information request for figures of police auctions and the value of tools sold. They are slightly different years. I've got sales figures from 2022 and theft numbers from 2023. So it's not like for like, but it's a 1 year difference. So this was from a Met Freedom of Information request in 2022 in police auctions. 454 individual items were sold at police auctions, and that includes non-power tools as well. So that includes hand tools, with a total value raised for the police of £32,619.90. In terms of reported thefts, the tools are estimated to be at a value of around £98 million, with 44,514 individual thefts, which are likely to include more than one tool, because usually it's not one tool that's stolen, it's multiple tools from a van. So the numbers from police auctions and...
Well, I would dispute the police auction, because I've seen police auctions in person. They actually hold one in my area, and I've been to auctions where the entire auction is nothing but tools.
Okay, then the number of people that were convicted for tool theft is only 12. So where did all these tools come from? I've spoken to the police. They said it's absolute rubbish. We do not do that. We don't sell that much quantity. We don't even catch that many quantity to put that many out.
They shouldn't be putting any out.
I agree
they
with
shouldn't be
you.
putting any
I
out
absolutely
at all,
agree
right?
with you.
And anything that's recovered, that can't be returned, should be destroyed.
Destroyed, exactly.
100%
That's
destroyed.
like catching drugs and then putting them back out in the market again, because they should be destroyed. That's our thing with the police as well.
And if London is a hotspot for selling these dodgy tools, right? I don't walk around London, can't boot sales, but I've been everywhere. I've been up to Swinderby, Newark, Derby, you name it. I go everywhere.
Yeah, which is why I said to you, we'll go together, and I'll take you to all of them.
Yeah.
And then I want you to see the scale of the issue.
Yeah, but the trouble is, on your website, right, you approached some people and they answered you. You said, where are all these tools coming from? They told you auction.
Yeah.
That's what you
not
said
just
on your
auction.
website. But on your website, that's what you said.
Yeah. Look, the people that are selling tools over there, the one that are on the stand, I'm not saying necessarily 100% they're thieves. The source where it's coming from, where they're getting hold of these, is theft. There is no way tradespeople sell their tools. And there's ex-hire companies are selling it. Why would ex-hire companies be hiring out drills? First of all, tell me that. Every person has a drill. That is like...
I've actually got a print off here somewhere. Probably 40 or 50 auction houses, right, selling regularly, weekly, ex-hire and tools. Where have I put it? There's a few of them. BPI auctions, if you look at them online, ex-tool hire. Toolkitonline.co.uk, tool hire. Every single auction in the country has a section.
But how do we not know that this is an organised crime?
It may very well be organised crime,
So
but it's
how
not
do we
coming
not
into the
know?
boot sales.
Boot sales, mate, I tell you what. Look, we're not arguing about this. It's not easy to sell tools online. I tell you that now. If you're putting something on eBay, say you had a tool to sell on eBay now, you've got to take multiple pictures of it, right? Put a description on it of what it is, all that kind of stuff, and that takes time, right? Then you're going to list it up. Then you're going to get a few phone calls. Hi, can I come and have a look at the tool? blah, blah, blah. They'll come down, waste your time. They might not want it. I don't want it now. I found a better one online. It's very difficult to sell that one tool online. eBay, Marketplace, whatever you want to call it. But throwing it on the floor, knowing you've got more supply coming tomorrow, is the easiest way to get rid of it. That's why the prices they go for, there's no way you can sell a power tool for £30. A Milwaukee drill does not cost £30 in the shop. It's over excess of £200 plus the battery and the charger. How can you get that for £30 at the boot sale? Unless, even if it was an auction, mate, the quantity of tools, you've not seen the scale of it. You've only seen a few videos on boot sales. That's only 2 boot sales you've seen the videos from. I'll take you to at least 10.
I fail to see, right, all the car boot sales I work, I don't see it, right? And I think common sense, people are not going to sit at a car boot sale with stolen goods, with their face attached, with their vehicle, where it can all be seized, right? When it's so much easier to put them on Gumtree, Facebook, Marketplace, wherever, as you just said, right? Yeah. Maybe fair enough, they got to do photographs on eBay. It doesn't mean they got to do good photographs. A simple single photograph will do, right? They can do it at many places, faceless. They can do it on the pub. You could have tradespeople that will buy it back, right? Dodgy tradespeople buy it back. At the end of the day, somebody's buying all this stuff.
Right, but boot sales, look, there's no it's not regulated, right? There's a difference between a boot sale and a market. Do people at the boot sale in the morning drive up there and show their IDs? No. To drive in, £10, £20, whatever the pitch is, put your blanket down, you start selling. Yeah. You've got the people that actually go to the boot sales. It's a certain, they're looking for a bargain. So I call them the bargain hunters. They want a good deal. Yeah. It's a perfect concoction because A, it's not regulated. Second, you've got the right buyers there that you want. No one's going to ask you any questions of what you're selling down there.
And you'll get rid of it. Car boot sale?
I have, yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to sell anything for more than a couple of quid?
It depends on what you're selling. Well, if you're selling junk from your house, it'll be difficult to sell it. You're not going to sell much. I've cleared out my stuff from my attic and stuff like that. It's fine. But look, if you're showing a tool that's £300 is going for £30, it's very tempting to buy that. And especially if you're a tradesperson or anything like that, you find that you'll get it.
Most people would assume if you're buying a tool at a car boot sale, it's either faulty or needs some form of attention.
No, it's not faulty. As I said, maybe in your area, because you're from Upper Wales, you won't have that many boot sales, or if some of them close down. You come to London, you look at the scale of the tools. Every tool's a working tool. And look, the tools that they're selling, how are they all the same? You've got 20 DeWalt, 20 Makitas.
But again, you're just basing on volume, right? The volume and the fact you think, okay, there's no way they bought these legit, right? But where are the actual figures? Where's the arrests?
We're sitting on the same thing debating this because we're also saying that the police need to do more things about this. And this is why we went out and made noise about this. And
but you're making noise about the wrong thing. You're making noise about banning them at car boot sales instead of making noise at the government to get off their backsides and do something.
It all combines in. We've got a reason because we know car boot sales is where they end up. It's the fastest way.
The fastest way is shipping them overseas to sell them in Africa and other countries, same as the car parts that they steal cars and break cars down.
Well, funny enough, you say that because the car boot sale, there's one called the Car Boot King, right? He puts loads of stuff up online on the videos. And he says, all this comes from Romania. How does tools come from Romania with a 3-pin plug? You answer me that. Did they come from Romania? And he's made a lot of noise about this, that we're making noise about stolen tools at Bart's. Oh, look at this Hilti drill. Look at this Makita. Look, they don't have tools like that there. And why would they have a 3-pin plug if it's coming from Romania?
I doubt very much they are coming from Romania.
That's what they're telling the boot sales
are being shipped
on video.
Overseas.
All right? And he's got quite a big following. But they've put it... You go and watch these up because you like doing a bit of research. Yeah. So if you're seeing stuff with a 3-pin plug on and you've got Hilti, you got stuff, they don't have brands like that there. That's all from here. How can they come up with that? National Rail, British Gas, call them up, find out how many vans they get broken into, right? The tools that they got, they're the road diggers or the ones that work on the highway, those power tools, there's no way you can get hold of them. They're £2-3 grand a piece. And they're going for hundreds of pounds, couple of hundred quid.
And you think they're going to sell them at a car boot sale? You're seriously mistaken.
Let's show you some pictures then. And I'll show you all the power tools. That picture there that you've printed yourself, that is not a normal, that's not a domestic product there.
No, but that's in the shipping container.
Yeah, that's in the shipping container. But these are broken into, these are all government tools.
Yeah,
they're coming from them,
yeah.
Right? This is not something domestic. So again, the value of these tools, right? The same tool over there, that's probably a couple of £1,000 each.
Right, okay.
And what are they going for? £100, £200?
I don't know. They're in a shipping container to go overseas.
Yeah, but that particular one was. But the same
But that
tools
was
are
£1 million worth of tools to go overseas. So what's the actual percentage? Do you actually even know the percentage of what's being shipped overseas?
No, we don't know the percentage of that because they don't release those figures to us.
So
But look,
basically, if you got a ban on power tools in the UK, right,
Yeah.
the sale of power tools in the UK, what's the actual figures you expect the crime to drop? None, in my opinion.
That's your opinion because you're talking about your area. You're just looking at that boot sale. Why are you not coming down to London and have a look at the scale of the issue first? Why?
Actually, I will come down to London and look at the
let's
scale.
go together.
I will come down to
Okay,
London.
we'll drive
and do
to
that.
all of them.
Yeah.
And I'll show you all of them. And then you tell me, Shoaib, that's a lot of tools.
Do you know
will
what?
agree?
I
That's
will
a lot
actually
more than
agree to come round the boot sales.
that will
You
be
can
a
drive
lot
it.
more than what you see on those pictures
That's
that
fine.
you printed out there.
That is absolutely fine. I will come round the car boot sales. You can drive me around all the car
I'll
boot
drive you
sales,
around.
and
I'll take you
talk
to
people.
Vauxhall Market. I'll take you to all the boot sales, and that'll open your eyes because you've got no idea what's going on over there in London. Especially, it's a huge problem, mate. And we can't take it anymore because
Right, so then you need to look at solutions, right? And a blanket ban on car boot sales, right,
Yeah.
isn't going to solve it because even if they are being sold at the car boot
But
sale,
we're actually working with the Met Police now on trying to get us, tradespeople to mark these tools.
Right.
So it helps them towards a conviction. So we've got this DNA kits that we're bringing out. I don't know if you know, a few years ago, there used to be, when Currys used to be Dixon, before you used to buy camcorders, they used to give this little liquid. You put it as a UV one.
Right.
It's hard to remove.
Yeah.
It's got little DNA segments on it. I'll show you a picture in a second. Once you register that liquid and you put it on your tools, you basically marked it. So if they walk around and they put the UV light on there, under a microscope, you can actually bring that code up through that DNA liquid, which is what we're trying to encourage all the tradespeople to do because at least it confirms, that good is stolen and it can lead to a conviction. We want this to stop. That's our main thing. We've got nothing against the car boot sales, and we want the organisers to work with us to say, if they see tools like that all the time, and there's an endless supply, because these people are going around all boots. So we've seen people in Willow Farm the next week in a different same people in a different car boot, then in Collier Road car boot, then they moved on to Vauxhall.
yeah, but the problem you got, excuse me, the problem you got is the reason there's an end of supply is because there's an auction 7 days a week selling them.
Where are they getting it from?
Well, that's something you need to take up with the auctioneer. If you kill the source,
Yes.
right, then you solve the problem.
But where is this endless supply coming from? It's a repeat cycle of tools getting sold there and then online boot sales or wherever they get sold, then they get broken into and they come back because people are not just a victim of tool theft once. It's happened 4, some 6. It's constantly
Theft is
happening.
a problem, period. Whether it's tool theft or whether it's anything else. I'm not being funny, right? I told you earlier I had my van stolen with everything I had in it, right? There's a picture here somewhere of Ian Townsend, right? An antique dealer. They smashed his head in with a hammer while they stole £100,000 worth of jewellery.
Yeah.
Right, where are the police? This is a police problem. This isn't a car
Of
boot
course.
sale issue.
So did you watch a watch one? Yeah, the stolen watch. There was a jeweler shop. This is last month.
Right.
I think it was in Camden. They went into a shop, no masks, nothing. They held him hostage, took all the watches from the thing,
Right.
from his shop.
Yeah.
He was a young guy. His name was Ollie. He committed suicide the next day,
Yeah.
right? Because, as I said, theft is a massive issue. People saying, van manufacturers should be working on better vans, take your tools upstairs. How does that work? When you say take your tools outside, I saw your video, and you told the tradespeople, take out the van at night. That should solve the problem.
Do you know, I
How
lost
does that
my
help?
van. I lost my van full of everything I had. Killed me, right?
Yeah.
That was years and years and years of dealing and collecting and everything. I was ready, loaded up to work at Malvern car boots, Malvern Flea and Antique Fair the following morning, and they took everything. They took my van. All I was treated for by the police was like a criminal, like I was after the insurance. They didn't even cover the contents of my van. I lost everything that day, right? And I had to restart again, right? Tool problem. Jewelry theft, it's all theft. It's all a police issue.
Yeah.
The amount of cameras they got now,
Yeah.
do you know, they just pick 2 people using AI cameras out of a £100,000 crowd in the Taylor Swift concert in Cardiff this week. They can pick 2 people out of a £100,000 crowd and yet they can't follow a tool theft from where they're breaking into the van on CCTV camera to where they take the masks off or where they get into a car with a number plate is a load of bull. Plain and
No,
simple.
I agree. I agree with the police side of things, and I'm saying more needs to be done. It's not doing, but again,
I agree 100%
we
more
say-
needs doing, but I don't feel a blanket ban on car boot sales is the problem. If the car boot sales are the issue, send an officer to that particular car boot sale. Arrest them.
But they're doing that now. So they are
So-
going around.
so
because
you don't
since,
need the
since
blanket
we've done
ban.
the petition, since we've gone out
Yeah.
and made a lot of noise about it,
Yeah.
everything that was hidden under the carpet's coming out. That's what's
Right.
happening now. So they realise that.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, only 20% of the police officers in the Met, or they only know about tool theft. The 80% still don't know it's an issue because a lot of it's been hidden, and that is an actual fact coming from a police officer.
Then the government need to give the police more money. Stop wasting money, like £33 million to change a bloody speed limit to 20 mile an hour, which is a joke,
Yeah.
right? Put that £33 million into a task force or something along them lines to tackle crime.
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Well,
so obviously
that-
it's a government priority issue.
It is. But again, at the moment, the way nothing's been changed for the past 12 years. Me and you know that.
No,
Right?
no.
Theft is going on. Right, one more thing I've got to say. Car boot sales,
Yeah.
not just power tools, cosmetics, tobacco.
Where do you draw the line? At the end of the
Where
day,
do you draw-
that's my
yeah.
argument, right? If you start with the power tool ban,
Yeah.
right, then you can say you can't sell clothes no more because of shoplifting. You can't sell bikes no more because of garage theft. Then what are they going to do? You can't sell jewellery because the price of gold is so high, people are breaking into houses. At the end of the day, the
Yeah,
car
but
boot sales are going to be gone.
The avenue they're using is car boot sales.
No, that's just the easy blame.
No, it's not the easy blame.
That is.
Look, on my high street, right, we used to have boots. They don't even keep body wash on the shelf. They've got the ticket there. They say it gets stolen. I went to Homebase. I wanted to buy an electric shower. It's only 150 quid. They said we can't. They went at the back of the warehouse. I stood on the till for 45 minutes for them to find it and bring it
They
out from the
put
back.
butter in
They said
security
it's-
tabs in Tesco's in our area.
Yeah.
That's how bad things are.
That's what I'm saying. So they closed the boots down. Our high street is going because of shoplifting. It's theft. Cosmetics. Do you know how much it costs? Billions of theft. I used to work in Superdrug as a store manager.
Yeah.
People used to come in, put the lipstick down their mouth, and just walk out the store. And that lipstick was £40. The Rock cosmetic, all these creams and stuff, they all get stolen. But what I'm saying is, when I go to the boot sale and I see
Yeah.
a little table with all boots, Mac, all these makeup things, brand new, I question myself, where did they come from? Now, you're going to say it's come from an auction as well, the cosmetics.
No, actually, because I know absolutely nothing about it. The reason I know about
Because
the
we've
tool
done
auctions is because I've actually looked into
Yeah.
where the tools are coming from, answering your question.
No,
right?
fair enough. But
Go on.
what I'm trying to say to you, theft is a big issue. And
Yeah.
because our high street is even suffering from it, and when you go to the boot sale, it's not regulated. As I said to you, you walk in there, you don't even show your ID.
But the way you're talking,
So
right,
it's an avenue for
fueling-
them to sell stuff. It is, and I have nothing. Boot sales back in the days weren't about this, and you know that, and I don't. And nothing's new used to be in a boot sale. I used to go there, people said in a car boot, open it up, little table, get rid of your stuff. That's what a car boot was. Now it is a marketplace, unlicensed, unregulated marketplace. That's all it is.
So the way you're talking, right, you are literally promoting for the undercar boot sales, which is my argument in the first place. Right?
But why
You're
can't
part-
organisers work with us and trying to understand the scale of the issue, because they're not aware of it, and we're trying to create awareness. We want to show them, look.
They are, because one organiser
Yeah, 12
actually turned away a van because the tools looked
and that
unsuspiciously
is-
new.
And that's what we want to. I'll show you a 15-year-old selling Hilti and power tools that are worth thousands. How is a 15-year-old sitting on there? Where is he getting it from? He doesn't even know what the tool is. And I've been to a boot sale and I've questioned them. Asked them, what is this tool? They didn't even know what it was. There was a lady sitting there and she goes,
Because half of them, and,
Right,
and
where
I'm
are
not,
they coming
and I'm
from?
not arguing with them, right? Some of them may be dodgy. I don't know, right? I weren't there, right?
I want
but
the-
what I will say is, I know some people just go by the job lot and they'll put a price on. Same as antiques, right? They will go in, they'll buy a miscellaneous box of job lot. They don't know what's in that box. That's
Yeah.
how I buy my stuff,
Yeah.
right? They put it on the floor, they just sell it then to make a profit.
yeah.
Right?
But
So that
I've
doesn't
seen what
really
you're
answer
selling.
the question.
I've seen what you're selling. We haven't got a problem with that at all. I mean, you've got a problem with me trying to close boot sales, and that's not what the issue
I
is.
haven't got
We
a problem
want the
with you.
boot
I
sales to
want-
work with us,
Look, at the end
and
of the day,
we've
right,
got
I
12
wanna-
of them.
I want to fight crime, right?
Yeah.
I've been a victim of crime multiple times.
Yeah.
This month alone, I got ripped off £400 with online scams.
Yeah.
Just this month alone, right?
Yeah.
With chargebacks, where I proved they are the items and I still got ripped off.
Yeah.
Crime is a problem
It is.
across the board.
It is.
Right?
Of course,
But
there's
I'm
no
trying to
punishment,
protect
there's no
the car boot
penalty.
sales.
That's what it is.
Who's that? Whereas, let me start that again. How many people have actually been convicted of tool theft, right? And what is the actual
12.
crime? 12 people.
Just 12.
So don't you think that's a major problem under the police?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. This is a big issue.
Why don't they set up stings and traps to catch these people? It wouldn't be rocket science, right? I watched the
If
video.
they had the budget, they would have done it. If they had the numbers, they would
If
have
they
done
weren't
it.
wasting £33 million on
Yeah.
a bloody speed
Well, they
limit,
can-
they'd have the budget.
Look, the government can fine you £60 for throwing a chewing gum on the floor, and I've seen that happen in front of me twice. Like, I was outside the station, someone chewed a chewing gum. Straight an officer little comes up. What's your name? £60 fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've got budget for putting people out like that, but they can't
They've
get
got a
something out
budget
there.
for anything. They can start a war. They'll get a budget for it. They find the money. If
Yeah.
it means anything, then they find the money for it.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
I mean, we're not going to go into politics, the government. All I'm trying to say is, yes,
the
it's a
government
massive
is the
issue.
problem.
Yeah. That's why do you think we went to Parliament Square, not outside a boot sale? We could have done this outside a boot sale. We did it outside Parliament Square because we want the government to do
Yeah, but
something
you're
about this.
protesting for the wrong thing. What you should be protesting for, right, is stronger measures,
Yeah.
right, tougher crimes, actually maybe a task force that could actually tackle it, right? This could be solved easy enough if they make it illegal to sell anything without a serial number, and then the police actually take the time of day to go anything with serial number, just put it in a van, destroy it. Nobody's going to take them to a car boot sale.
So
there
we-
are ways of solving this without
And that's
banning
well,
stuff at boot sales.
that's one of the thing. Look, 12 major boot sales, they're already working with us now.
Yep.
So they said no more power tools. We don't want to deal with it. FC
But what
grounds in
about the people
Haringey
who-
shut down because they've already put it on their own site
But what
because
about
of
the
stolen
innocent
goods,
people?
stolen tools, tobacco, all these kind of complaints that they've had. They've just completely stopped
So
trading.
there's another car boot sale gone again.
Yeah.
So by the end of next year,
But that was a major one.
which will fit in perfectly in line with the government, right? Of no free trading, no cash, no nothing. There'll be no boot sales left, which is exactly why I'm fighting it.
Could I ask a question? Sorry, very early on, you mentioned the government had shut down 7 car boot
Yeah.
sales, and you're
They shut another one last week.
What do you mean the government has?
Well, the local councils, government, whatever you want to call them, they shut another one last week.
For what reason?
Last week's was planning permission. Splot, they sold the land to build a school. There's one thing after another. They've shut literally 7 or 8 car boot sales down out of the 10 that were in my immediate vicinity.
Would you say that it was for legitimate reasons, or do you think there's something else going on that's...
They shut them down for any reason, including just because of road traffic, because there's a queue in the morning at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning before they go into the boot sale. They will literally find any excuse to close a boot sale. They don't want them.
And I've got another question, if that's okay. So,
And what you got to realise, got to realise, when you got posts like this going out and you got people on there going dirty FUCKERs, right? And you got to make a sacrifice. That opinion travels down, right? And then when people come to car boot sales, that's how they treat us. I've been doing car boot sales 30 years. I don't buy or sell stolen goods, right? I got no receipts for any of my stuff.
there's no way you could know.
I buy it as honestly as I can.
Yeah, but there's
Let's
no
put
way.
it that
There's
way.
no way you could know. I'm just saying this completely objectively. There's absolutely
Yeah,
no way you
fine.
could know.
But believe me, they're not going to sell a solid silver vase or a 9-carat gold bangle for 50p if they knew what it was. So the likelihood that it's been stolen jewellery is slim to nil. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And you had another point.
Sorry. Can't remember now. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought.
You know, I know it's not your fault, right? But if you actually had cages inside, right, and lock boxes inside, and a big, massive sticker on the outside, right? And, no, I'm just saying.
No,
right,
that's fine.
Let me finish. At the very least, they would go, oh, that one's going to take me longer. I'm going to go to a different as a deterrent. Just as a deterrent.
But they've done the damage to the van, haven't they, to get in there
But if
first.
there's a big label outside saying what security you got inside the van, right, surely they'd go, well, that one got that. I'm going to go to the next one.
They don't care what's on there. They'll get through your roof to get in there. Have you seen the van's roof
I've
lift
seen
on
the
open?
people. I watched the video where somebody chased. I think it was on your website. They chased somebody who was nicking the drill, and then 3 people got out of a car, chased him back, and took the rest of his tools. Is that on your website? I think it was.
No, mine.
It was on
probably on
somebody-
Stolen Tools UK, but
Might have been
that's
Stolen
another
Tools
one.
UK.
Yeah,
Right?
another
I
one you
watched
can
that
watch.
one,
Yeah.
right? And I'm thinking to myself, these are not people selling on car boot sales. They're really not.
But the end supply, where it comes from, is from a tradesperson van. That's how I see it. Tradespeople don't sell their tools. I'll tell you that now. And used tools, there's no way. Why would if a ex-hire company is selling tools in auction, what is the reason for it? They're working.
Either way, whether the next company is selling or not, the serial numbers will be on there.
They are working tools.
So
They scratch
simple,
them
if
off.
they sell in X-hire tools, they're not going to scratch serial numbers off. They're just going to go, these are old tools, we don't want them all, put them in auction, right?
Okay,
It doesn't matter if they trace back.
Why would they stop hiring out drills for some reason if they are working still? What's the reason for that? What, they need a new model that does the same thing?
Maybe they just want to upgrade. I don't know.
Well,
But if
upgrade
you-
why? Why? Don't answer that. Why? I want to
Maybe
know
they're
my
just
reason.
getting old and worn.
They're not getting old and worn. They're still working. I'm saying to you, the stuff they are selling there are
Yeah.
pretty good in good condition.
Right.
Do you understand?
Right.
And they've got names on them. Ex-hire companies don't
Right.
sell.
But-
and they don't even hire a drill. As I said to you before, that's like a carpenter hiring a pencil. Why would they even have a
Look,
drill
I
and
will
hire?
hold my hand up to that one, right? If the tool is new and in good condition, there's no need for it to be being sold second hand.
course.
Right?
I've
I
got
will
enough-
give you 100%.
I
will
can
give into
understand
that.
if it's corded, right?
Right,
If the
okay,
cord's got a
fine.
cord
Yeah,
on it,
okay.
it's an old-fashioned tool.
Right, fine.
Nobody does corded anymore. If you see on a booth, I don't really give about that because
Yeah.
I know it's old. It's from some granddad's shed. That's
Yeah.
where that's come from.
That's absolutely
right?
fine, fair enough, right?
Or
And
some of them
if you got a
that you can dig out as
£300
fossil.
Yeah.
I don't care about those tools rusted.
Right, well, I can't give you any more than to say, right, if you've got a £300 or £500 brand new looking drill,
Yeah.
right, at the boot sale,
At
then
£30.
there's something wrong with it, right?
Thank you.
I
So
will
there's-
hold my hand up and say that.
Yeah.
But the videos you were showing
But I want
that
to
I
take
looked at
you.
weren't.
You open your phone. Look at. When I take you to the boot sales, you look at the tools.
I will,
research
'cause I'll put
just
it on the
research
channel
what the
again.
value of that tool is.
Yeah.
And you're going to ask them yourself, how much is that?
Are you wasting time? I think that some of you probably are, and I have a solution for you. Nobody wants to do any type of admin. Now, I have a solution for you, and it is called Tradify. It's a fully automated job scheduling, invoicing, and quoting all in one place. Now, that software is going to save you 12 hours a week, and all by using a simple software solution. Now, you can try it for 2 weeks, absolutely free, no cards needed, and you'll even get support in person from Tradify themselves. Now, when you're done, you can always come back to me and thank me, but just enjoy the extra 12 hours that you're going to gain from just using the software.
But my argument is always this, right? If a simple law said you can't sell anything without a serial number, right, whether it's auction or car boot sale, the source would dry up. Because auctioneers couldn't sell the stuff then without the serial number. It is a simple fix.
Yeah.
If they ban selling anything with power tools, auctioneers are no longer going to sell them, right? If they're at a car boot sale with something without a power tool, without the serial number on, you know what I mean? They confiscate it and they find them.
When you cut the supply, there's no demand for it anymore. Why would they? Look, because they can get away with it, no one asks any questions.
But they won't get
You
away
would-
with it, will they? An auction house won't be selling them no more, right? And if you take
Yeah.
a look online, right, at how many auction houses are selling ex-hire tools, they put them down as ex-hire tools, right? I can't justify to whether they are or they aren't, right?
Okay, so
I'm not going to argue that point because
Let's
where
go
they
to
come from
something.
could be.
Let's go to something a bit more recent
Okay.
than tool theft. So, catalytic converter theft. You must have heard of that, probably, where they used to go underneath the cars, take the
Well, I
catalytic
haven't
converters.
actually heard of it, but I am well aware of the platinum inside.
That's right.
Catalytic
So,
converters.
where did they end up?
Scrapyards.
Thank you. So, and they're scrap yards. You used to buy them, and then the police started marking those catalytic converters and going to the scrap yards. Do you understand? So this whole thing
Right.
stopped because they started taking IDs.
And you know what? Where is it? Everybody registers for one of them,
Yeah,
which is a waste carrier's license.
that's right.
And if
I've got
something
one.
goes in
Yeah.
that is dodgy, you get done.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Right. So look, the scrap yards now. Every time I visit one,
Yep.
because we're plumbers, we have copper and we have all that
Yep,
scrap.
yeah, I'm exactly the same.
So
I
we
have
go down
second-hand
there,
metalware. That's
and
why I got
the ones
a
that I
license.
use, and I know I've used 3 or 4 different ones. They always take driving license copy.
Yeah, they do
And I
work
think-
with us, yeah.
And that's mainly started and got pushed more because of this catalytic converter theft as well. And this theft completely stopped when they started marking them.
Right.
So we're trying to mark our tools now. So we, as I said, we're
But
working
if
with
they
the
can't sell the tools anymore, right, they wouldn't steal them based on the fact you think they're being sold in the UK. Right?
They-
Forget about what's being sold overseas at the moment, right? Just what's being sold in the UK. If they can't sell them at a car boot sale with no serial number, if they can't sell them through an auction with no serial number, right, they're just being destroyed, right? Same as you can't go to a scrapyard now and weigh in copper and metal without a license, right? Then surely the source would dry up. They couldn't sell them. And then if anybody's at a car boot sale with all those, it's an easy fix for someone to phone the police and go, right, he's here, he's got hundreds of power tools, just send someone over. It'd be worth them investing the hours labour for one officer to come across and take the lot. It's a simple fix.
Right, so there's people that are on the boot sale. They've got, as I said to you, you've seen the images where they cover the number plates. It's still up there now.
Yeah, but you can cover a number plate. You can't take a van away
So
if it's
they are
not
selling
there.
thousands of pounds worth of tool,
Yeah.
all cash.
Yeah.
Nothing's declared.
Right.
Do you understand? Even if they're not paying for the road tax, you think they're paying tax?
Well, if they're not paying for road tax, unlikely.
Exactly.
I'm not unrealistic.
Like you'll agree with a lot of things when you
Yeah.
come and see them for yourself. But as I said, your boot sale, if they're selling old tools and stuff, I'm not bothered about that. I'm bothered
No, but
about
the blanket
you. I want
ban
you
is going to
to-
affect everybody, right?
Yeah.
And I think the blanket ban is the first step to the end of the car boot sales. So I want other avenues of tackling the crime.
Yeah, but look, car boot sales is, again, if it's just a cash place or whatever, it's not really contributing anything to the society, are they?
Of course it
Apart
is.
from none.
There's a lot of people, right,
Yeah.
who have already paid their tax on everything. We are taxed on everything. The food we eat, where we live, we tax to buy house, we tax to sell house, we tax when we work, we tax in the car we drive to work, we taxed on the road we drive on to go work, we tax on the fuel we put in the car to go and make the money that they want to tax us on. So don't tell me they haven't contributed, right, when they're selling second-hand things because they need to make a few pound. They've contributed.
Yeah.
This government just rips everything off everybody.
Yeah, but and then some people spoil it for everyone. You see,
But
these
you want
thieves-
to punish the minority again, which we go back
because
then
they're
to
using
the-
it as an avenue for selling these tools.
But let's
And what
say
we're
we go
trying
back to the
let's
rogue
get the
traders.
organisers of boot sales to try and understand the issue, how big it is, and say, right, no power tools in this quantity. We don't want them. And when that stops, they'll stop breaking into vans. They're getting rid of them because they know tomorrow there's more coming. There's more and more tools. There's an endless supply, and this has
But
just
you
become
would just no
a big
as
thing
a blanket
now.
ban. It's just going to be it's going to be unfair, unjust, right? It's going to punish everybody across the board. It's going to end up being the first step for slippery slope to the end of the car boot sales, which is my argument as all the way along, right? I don't care about power tools one way or the other, right? They don't affect me in my life. The car boot sales do affect me, right? And I see it's going to be the end of the car boot sales. It's the slippery slope, right? The attitudes coming off already off your posts, right, are people on car boot sales are nothing more than scum. That is the attitude I get from people from your posts, right? And that is coming down the
And
line.
the posts that you saw, they were most London-based. They weren't up your area. So we, as I said,
No, but even so, I'm seeing the attitude of people walking around the car boot sales as well. Because I work 4 car boot sales a week, maybe 5 car boot sales a week in my area, right? And I'm seeing a knock-on effect. And what do you think is going to happen the next time someone goes to the council and goes, do you know, we want to put a car boot sale in this field, do you mind? And they're thinking about all the negative impact of a car boot sale. And they go, no, we're not going to give you planning permission this time. Or they're going to find another excuse, like the traffic on the road, to shut another car boot sale down. I want solutions to the tool crime as well as all crime, right? But that don't involve blanket banning and punishing the mass.
Do you think it would be a good idea for car boot sales to start taking IDs of people that are coming there?
No problem whatsoever. I'd hand over my ID, I'd hand over my tax information, everything.
I think that would be a good idea then, wouldn't it? So at least we know
All
who's
they
there
gotta do,
selling stuff.
if they're selling tools, photograph the tool.
Why
Take
just
a
the
photograph
tools? Why not everything else?
Oh, anything. It doesn't make any difference. Photograph the car, photograph the face, right?
Yeah.
At the
Exactly.
end
Or
of the
they
day,
should
right,
have some sort of membership or something in place so they know when they turn up, they can show a card, just like
there'll
that
be-
one you showed me.
The way we're going, there'll be no car boot sales.
Yeah.
This year alone, the government have introduced new laws, right? HMRC laws. Everybody who sells everything on eBay, Facebook, Marketplace,
Yeah.
you name it. Now, all them details get sent to HMRC. Plain and simple, right? So if the car boot sales are gone, people got to sell it on all these platforms, and HMRC get all their details. Plain and simple.
But it makes
It's
it
all
harder
about
for them.
money.
It makes it a lot harder for them to sell online, you know, as well. It's easier for you to mute. Why are you at a boot sale and not online then?
I am online. I'm 100% online.
So
I
which-
buy at a boot sale.
Yeah,
The only
but
stuff
you
I
sell
sell
a
at the
lot
boot,
more at the boot sale. That's
No,
why
I don't.
you're always there though.
I'm there because I'm buying. The only stuff I sell at the car boot sale, and I'll actually show you a photograph, right? Because I've actually put one in my book. Bear with me 2 seconds. The only stuff I sell at a car boot sale is £1. I sell trays of house clearance stuff for £1. I take a loss on everything I sell so that I can get in there early to walk around buying before the masses come in. There it is. Right. Pass that over. I literally, everything on my stall is £1. It is all junk in a box, right? Everything I sell of any value goes online. I don't sell anything at the car boot sale that isn't rubbish. Every single item in my trades is £1 and I still can't sell it.
Yeah.
That's what car boot sales are
And
like.
that's what they were about before.
And they still are. They're,
No, they're not. You, as I said, in your area, yes. Come to London and I'll show you it's not about that anymore. You'll see everything new there. Now ones, they're markets, unlicensed markets. That's what they are. They are not old stuff. You're selling old junk in there.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
They are not selling old stuff. They're selling new stuff.
everything I sell is
Right.
100% trackable online,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
By
So
HMRC,
we're
by everybody, it's
debating-
100% online,
Yeah.
right? Anything I sell at the car boot
Yeah.
sale, believe me, I'm taking a loss. By the time I pay my fuel, my pitch, right? The cost of the items, I don't make a penny. I lose money.
And I'm telling you, a lot of stuff that is sold in our car boot sales in London is new. Forget power tools and all this stuff at the moment for now,
Right.
because that's a different issue. I'm talking about in general. Markets is where you get all the new stuff.
Yep.
Right? It's licensed. They've got their own stores. They've got their pitches every month. It's the same face every place. It's still because it's a regular spot. But now car boots are doing exactly the same thing, but there's no regulation to what they're selling. They're selling vapes that are not allowed in vape shops. Right, the bigger size ones.
Not down with us, they don't.
No, I'm just telling you what we're doing down our side. Because I want you to see the issue, because I want you to go on the government petition website and have a look at the map that they show you where the red part is London. And we've got loads of car boot sales opening up here. I don't know, they're closing down, they're coming down here. But I don't know how we're doing for time. But honestly, this debate can go on for all day long. But all we're trying to do, it's not the car boot sale that I've got a problem with. I want organisers to work with us to understand the scale of the issue. That's why I've invited you as well to come to London. We'll go one day. I'll show you the scale of it. And honestly, we can come back here and you'll say, Shoaib, I saw a lot that I wasn't aware of.
No, I'm not stupid in any way, shape or form, right? And if you actually present me with evidence, I'll say to you, fine, right? What I got a problem with, right, is expecting innocent people to pay, right, for a minority, right?
Yeah. And I said it as well.
There's
it's a handful of people that spoil it for everyone.
There's hundreds of thousands of car boot sales. Yeah, but as I've already tried to outline to you, right? Yeah. Do you want us to spoil it for you for rogue traders? It's the same thing, right? Rogue traders, $3.5 billion a year they cost homeowners, right? How would you like it if we said to you, from now on, right, you got to put the money in escrow, you don't get it till it's inspected? Or how about the government say to you...
There is interject, there's a lot of regulatory bodies for all of the trades.
I'm not saying anything different, but yet it's still $3.5 billion a year if you look at the two sources, right, of people being ripped off with rogue builders, right? What if they said to you, right, from now on, you got to list the job, every single fitting you use, and we're going to actually only allocate you a certain amount of time to do that job because we know what that job takes? That's stupid. And that's just as stupid as a blanket ban on car boot sales. If it's isolated in London, target London.
That's why we're working with the Met Police already. And I told you, Met covers most of it, and they've already seen how big this issue is, and they're trying to work with us, trying to get these boot sales to stop selling these power tools as well. And they are visiting them as well on a regular basis now.
But if they visit them on a regular basis, people are not going to go there with power tools.
We need to, from the trade side of it, we need to start marking our tools so that it can actually give, because the excuses they use is there's no end to it. But what are they supposed to do with all these tools?
But from now on, what you need to petition is nothing, no matter what it is, can be sold if a serial number has been removed. That's what you need a petition for, because then you know it's been stolen at some point in its life.
But look,
right? But then they can just destroy it. People in auctions wouldn't be able to sell it if it had no serial number. They wouldn't be able to buy it to sell on the car.
No, we agree with that. We don't want the police to put them back in circulation.
I'd like to make one point as well about the petition. The government did respond, and the first line is, "We will not be implementing a ban on the sale of power tools." That was their response. It's the individual car boot sales themselves that are realising. I think we've got some evidence. I'm saying we've found stolen tools here. That's why they're getting banned. It's not the government intervening and
the amount of boot sales that have sent us emails saying we don't want them here.
Use AI,
and they're aggressive.
Right? I use AI, ChatGPT now to do my research, right? Because I'm dyslexic. I struggle with reading, right? Plain and simple. And when I asked it to find me examples of people actually taken from car boot sale and seizures at car boot sales, it couldn't find me anything other than that one I mentioned earlier with the car boot sale organizer.
When did this AI chat GDP come out?
It's actually something I can answer. That's
really good.
So I work in IT. You can't really use AI for research because the
government's using, the police use it.
No, for research, not so much. Basically, it's a large language model. So the way it works is it identifies patterns in text.
Okay, so have you got the figures then of how many people have actually been arrested or prosecuted from car boot sales and seizures? Because I'm telling you now, I couldn't find any.
Freedom of Information report said 12.
Yeah, 12.
How pathetic is that? There's 100,000 car boot sales a year, right? So that really would be punishing the many for the few, wouldn't it?
No, I think the argument is there is not enough policing checking them anyway, and now they are starting to do it and realising that there is stolen tools.
But if they had the powers to
places.
take anything that didn't have a serial number, they could just turn up the car boot sale with a 3.5-ton truck and chuck the lot in and take it straight down the scrappies and melt it.
It's a bit more than 3.5 tons, mate. I'm telling you now, you've got to go and see the scale of it.
All right, but the principle still stands, doesn't it?
Yeah, but the 12 boot sales that I can take you to, you'll see where are they going to take all these tools when we don't, as tradespeople, mark them. They can't identify who it is, where they come from, what they're going to do with it. Right? We want them to destroy it. Yeah, that we put that argument forward. We don't want to put it back in circulation because then it ends up back in the boot sale again. So we're trying to stop all this. It's not against the boot sale. Yeah, it affects you in a certain way, but for us, can you imagine how many people lose their livelihoods from this? How many people commit suicide because they've lost everything? Tradespeople
And believe
Honestly.
me, I'm not unsympathetic. I told you, I've lost my entire life.
Yeah.
My van, they took
Right.
the
So
lot.
something's
Right?
got
So
to
I
be
know
done.
exactly how
Something's
they
got to be
feel.
done about that. But if an avenue of boot sales being used by the thieves, that is a big problem.
But there's got to be a better solution, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with you.
If they're selling them at the
I
car boot
hope
sale,
it
then
stops,
yes.
and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
Like,
they're
generally-
a big contributing factor is the boot sale because they're not regulated and they're letting
Right.
them in. They're letting them in. No
I will
IDs.
come to London, right,
Yeah.
and I will have a look around the boot sales
Yep,
with you,
I'll-
right,
I'll-
and I will put it on my video, so
Yep.
exactly the same,
Yep.
right, and that is, I got 2.5 million views, something like that on my channel,
Yep.
so at the very least, it'll be more exposure for
That's
your
fine.
cause,
It's a learning
right?
thing for you as well. And at least it'll show you exactly
Right.
what we're talking about and why it concerns us so much.
Right.
Do you understand? Because it's not cheap for us to replace our tools
No.
every time.
No,
We work
I-
all year. All tradespeople out there, they want a better life as well. They've got a family, they've got kids to go
Everybody
to.
is doing
Exactly, we're on the
exactly
same
the same
boat.
fight.
Exactly. And so when we work and we lose all our tools, all year we worked for, we have to go replace them again. Not once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Then the van damage insurance goes up. It's too much.
So why are we paying so
we-
much in tax?
I think that's a separate
issue.
Yeah, well,
That's-
it ain't,
that's
innit?
to- look,
Because let's be honest, right?
That's to do with the government. That's to do with
But
the
that's
police.
what we should be
If the
fighting.
issue- yeah, we are fighting them. But also, with the boot sales are not really helping, are they? We want them to be on board with us to actually help us understand the scale of this issue and just not let them in.
If
They
the
know it's
tools
there.
are old and worn,
Boot sales are
right,
agreeing with us. They say, yes, we know they're stolen. All right, they're telling us we know they're stolen. They're aggressive. They don't stop. Willow Farm, I spoke to them, spoke to the organizer. The lady's telling me that can't do anything about them. They're aggressive.
they could phone the police.
They can find the police, don't turn up.
But then that's a police problem.
It's not a police problem. It's also a boot sale problem. They are still letting them in. They haven't put the boards up. They
in
haven't
that
stopped them.
If that instance there, right, she was too afraid to actually confront them because they were aggressive, it's no different to the explanation you gave earlier of somebody being robbed, right, because they were too afraid to fight back, right? At the end of the day, all she had to do was phone the police. If the police don't come, then the police need to be more answerable.
But they are, what I'm saying to you, they're using this avenue, aren't they, to get rid of the tools? So you just try to understand that part of it. It's a very easy
I
way
find-
because
I just don't see
you
it.
don't show IDs when you walk in. You're just agreeing to that. You don't. There's
No, there's no IDs.
There's no trace. I've done boot sales before. I just
Yeah.
drive in, pay
But
the
you
£5
also
and
don't
I'm in.
get no money at car boot sales, honestly. You
Your area, yes, maybe no. But you have to come to London to see the scale of
And I
it.
will.
And just
and
see
if
the
the
amount of new
tools are
stock.
old and worn, are you going to at least acknowledge that they could have come from auction legitimately?
Yeah, if they are still old, worn, cabled, corded, whatever they are, I will tell you that. Yeah, okay, fine. But if I show you the tools that are in the current market, then you'll
If
have
you
to
were
agree.
showing me £1,000 tools that are up for 50 quid, I'll hold my hands up and say, fine, shut the boot down.
Why £1,000? Not every tool's £1,000. I'll show you
I
drills
was
that are
just giving you an
£200-300.
example. I was giving you an example.
But I'll show you them going for £30.
Could I ask one question?
Yeah.
Just before we wrap up, would you be against or for people selling at car boot sales having to provide ID and proof of purchase for anything that's sold?
Proof of purchase, I'd probably be against because most of it is deceased estates or late husbands, things like that, or stuff they've had for years. But I would
proof
be,
of purchase over a
I
value.
would be for proof of purchase on newer products. So, for example, if you got a brand new looking drill, then yeah, fine. But on the older stuff, the second-hand stuff, then no. But as for proof and ID, yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I'm happy to work on any areas where you can make it public.
Yeah.
I'm happy to work on that. I'm happy to work with you and help you in any way of
Yeah,
making
so you
this
should join-
awareness,
you should join us in that way.
But what I'm not for is a blanket ban.
Yeah.
Right? If you're looking at ways of highlighting the problem, no problem whatsoever. If you're looking at ways of tackling the problem, such as serial numbers and things like that, no problem whatsoever.
So
I'm
moving
glad with
forward,
that.
right, obviously the new government's going to be formed soon. So we are going to go through the right channels. We're not like the Stop Oil protesters. We are not troublemakers. Generally, we're professional people. We'll go through the right channels like we did last time. We will go through the MPs again. We'll write them letters if this carries on. So we have to go through the right channels, working with the Met Police, which is quite a big thing now. Yorkshire, Kent Police, they're all on it as well. So all we want to do is sort of come to sort of sort this problem out. Do you understand? Get to the root of the problem, what is causing it, and just get some investigations done. And hopefully we'll get there somewhere very soon.
I think one important thing to just point out to obviously any tradespeople listening as well is if police do get involved, at the moment, obviously, it said it's hard for them to do anything. They can see it, but without any proof, it's hard to get a conviction. Do use sort of smart water DNA services. I think there's a few of them out there. So I'm speaking to sort of the audience now in that this is something you should be doing. I'd sort of looked at the rough numbers on it. For a single tool, it's usually a kit that will cover about 100 items, but it's about 60 pence per tool.
Yep.
And because obviously you're bringing more attention to it, the police are starting to look into it more. It's definitely getting more active.
Yeah, they're trying to get funding and to get it out to the tradespeople for free. So,
but if the tradespeople are not marking it and they're seizing these goods, and people haven't registered the tools online, or they're not using a product that can identify it to them. Yeah. If there's a million Milwaukee drills, how are you going to know whose is whose? There's no way to trace it back.
Yeah, so even the £1 million one that they've just done recently, exactly. they've called people and said, come and get your tools, show us your serial numbers.
Have they actually said what things, what plans they're actually doing, or what things they're actually doing to stop these tools being shipped overseas? What actions?
Well, we want them to take action, obviously, at the borders. They need to check all these things.
Are they doing anything at the borders?
But again, if we're as tradespeople not marking our tools, what are they going to do with them anyway? Even if they find them,
there's no end point then. They won't be able to return them.
No, but they could still destroy them, which is still putting a stop to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we can say that about anything. Cars, everything's going across borders. Something's got to be done. But this is, again...
Most of the stuff is going overseas. That's my opinion.
You say most of it's going for the boot sales are telling us it's coming from Romania. That's why it's so cheap.
No.
Right.
I doubt that very much.
Yeah, I don't
think there's enough evidence to have a fact-based debate on where things are ended up. I don't think you can say that it's all at car boot sales, and I don't think you can say that it's
not documented.
That it's all.
It's an estimate on. If you look on Google, it's an estimate of 77% of stuff going overseas. But that's more
in
cars
relation to
and car
cars.
parts.
So cars
tools are not even
cars,
regulated.
Well, cars are very high value items, and obviously all cars are registered. There's a national body that does registration of cars, so it's very easy to find an owner for a car.
I just want to know, right, if you managed to stop all power tools at car boot sales. I know you said the ban was stopped, but if it was introduced, right, what actually figures do you actually think that would actually do?
I think it'd be a massive reduction, especially in London.
I think in larger cities, I think it would.
We've got a big problem.
Birmingham as well. Birmingham, Coventry. I think it was Coventry. Somebody was arrested a couple of years ago. I can't remember his name now.
The auctions that the police sell to as well, they actually don't just sell it to anyone out there. You can't just go put a bid in. It's only some registered user that they sell this stuff to. So if you wanted to go and buy power tools from the police auction, they won't give it to you.
They do up with us. There's an auction in Pontypridd. I believe they're a police auction, and they sell plenty of tools.
Yeah, the ones that the police have listed to us, they don't allow it. So whatever's going on, right, it needs to stop when it comes to tool, any sort of tool theft mainly, because that affects trade people a lot, and it affects it's devastating, mate, for some people. Yep. So that's why we're here. Obviously, we had a debate. I've heard your views. I saw your things, whatever's said, any comments that you've made on Facebook, that's... it's general public that will do stuff like that. And if it's upset you...
Well, it's not so much upsetting me. My worry, as I said, is the car boot sales.
Yeah.
Right? And the only reason I brought a lot of this, like the proof, the complaint to the police, was because I actually outlined why I think the police are the issue, because they do absolutely nothing, no matter what the problem is. I'm not being funny. My daughter was in the car with a hit and run, right? Drunk lady. The police, it took 10 minutes to turn up. Then they went off, didn't even go looking for her. I give them the number plate of the woman, right? They knocked on a door, she didn't answer, so they went back to the police station and said we couldn't find her. 3 days later, she handed herself in. I had to go and find the car, right? I phoned the police, they wouldn't even come out and get the car, so I said, fine, I'll stop banging doors till I find her. They were there within 2 minutes.
Yeah, but what happens next after tool theft? They're going to start breaking into people's houses, and they're going to say, get better doors, or get better windows.
Could I ask one point as well? Yeah. Obviously, it's just something that you posted. It seemed out of character, and I just wanted to ask you about it. So, obviously, incredibly passionate about boot sales, don't want to see them go. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Lindsay that had said about banning the power tools at car boot sales. And you responded by saying that if any car boot sale individually bans power tools, you hope they go under. But that's the exact opposite of your main point, is that you want to see more car boot sales. You want them to thrive.
No. So what I'm against is all the control, the restrictions, and absolutely everything. I want the car boot sales to thrive, right? But I'm against, as people, not being allowed to do anything in this country. But that's a whole other debate. I'm not a big fan of the government. I'm not a big fan of the police, and I am definitely not a fan of controls and rules. Let's put it that way. And that's a whole other debate.
Okay.
Because as far as I'm concerned, we're all slaves.
Okay. Is everybody happy to wrap it up there?
Yeah.
Is everybody? Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.